I wasn't originally planning to do a video of this reflection. I was just going to provide the text for posting on the St. Joe's website. But after listening to and watching Donna Richland's reflection last Sunday, I felt so comforted and at peace that I thought I'd try it too. So I offer this to you in the hope that a little bit of familiarity will give you some comfort and hope as well. Today is Solidarity Sunday. I'm thinking that these last couple of weeks have made all of us start to realize what solidarity really means. We may have understood it before on an intellectual level, or gotten upset enough about a particular social injustice that we understood it on an emotional level. But with the breadth and the seriousness of the COVID-19 pandemic and the very real impact it is having on us, our loved ones, and our way of life, we are coming to understand solidarity on a visceral, heart, soul, and gut level. Although we have heard this many times before, particularly from Pope Francis, we are starting to embrace the idea that we really are all in this together. And it really is all of us. Any of our actions or non-actions can affect another, many others, our society, or even the entire world. This goes for the thoughtless, careless, selfish action or inactions, but it applies even more to the countless wonderful acts of generosity, selflessness, courage, and creativity that the news and social media are full of and that we love to share with our family and friends. I can't recall how many times this week that tears have just sprung to my eyes looking at some of these love-filled acts. We are fortunate that when times are tough, we can always turn to Scripture. They continue to teach and reveal truths, no matter the situation or the age. For example, we can see many aspects of solidarity sprinkled in St. John's Gospel today. The friends of Martha and Mary showed their solidarity by supporting and consoling Martha and Mary in their grief over the death of their brother Lazarus. When Mary left the house to go and greet Jesus at the outskirts of Bethany, their friends walked with her. They accompanied her. That is the very essence of solidarity, walking alongside another on their journey, being with them. The gospel might also have us wondering about solidarity in a different way. Isn't Jesus demonstrating what at first looks like an apparent lack of solidarity with some of his closest friends? Why did he not drop everything and rush to Lazarus' aid? Where was his empathy for Mary and Martha, first in their worry about whether their brother would survive, and then in their grief? Mary and Martha each lamented to Jesus that their brother would not have died if only Jesus had come. That is another thing that Scripture does. It makes us think, leaves us with tension, something we have to work at and struggle with for the essential truth. We aren't just handed it on a silver platter. As we see later on when Jesus goes to the tomb, he was indeed greatly distressed and even brought to tears about what had happened. He showed his compassion deeply, and that compassion prompted him to action in the way that his Father had intended. And for me, compassion and action are two qualities that are inextricably linked to solidarity. So why do we call this Sunday Solidarity Sunday? The fifth Sunday of Lent was set aside in the early years of development and peace by the Canadian bishops for the annual collection for the work of development and peace. It is the one day when we are invited to show our solidarity with our brothers and sisters in the global South through a financial donation. This annual collection in all parishes across Canada allowed Development and Peace, now called Development and Peace Caritas Canada, to support 149 community development and humanitarian projects last year in 36 countries in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East. 16.8 million people were directly impacted by these projects. Unfortunately, we aren't able to gather in our parishes because of the pandemic. As a result, the annual Share Lent collection and other Solidarity Sunday activities cannot proceed as planned. Lent is a vital time of year for development and peace, and any reduction in revenue will dramatically affect our partners in the Global South. In those regions, the COVID-19 pandemic is stretching already meager resources and exacerbating the problems caused by poverty, hunger, climate change, social injustice, and political instability. In light of this situation, Development and Peace Caritas Canada, together with Canada's bishops, are inviting you to participate in our virtual Share Lent campaign and act in solidarity with our partners in the Global South. There are those who are saying that we should look after people closer to home rather than those on the other side of the world. That is vitally important, and we must do that. But what this overlooks is that there really is only one home, our common home, the earth, God's loving creation. What happens here happens elsewhere, and vice versa. But the degree of suffering depends on the capacity to respond, and many countries in the Global South lack sufficient means to do so. This pandemic has driven that point home more than ever. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the other day, COVID-19 is threatening the whole of humanity, and the whole of humanity must fight back. Global action and solidarity are crucial. This is the moment to step up for the vulnerable. So I invite you to consider supporting the work of Development and Peace Caritas Canada and all the people it supports through a donation to Development and Peace. Consider becoming a monthly donor. It doesn't have to be now, as many of us have had our financial security threatened by the pandemic. This may not be the best time for you and your family, but bookmark this idea for when your personal finances allow. Those of us who are financially okay might feel called to dig a little deeper than usual because of the circumstances. Information on how to donate is on the parish website or will be next week. You can go directly to the Development and Peace website as well at devp.org. I leave you with some words from St. Oscar Romero, the Archbishop of San Salvador, the 40th anniversary of whose assassination we recognized and celebrated on Thursday. All power, all triumphs, all selfish materialism, all the false successes of life will pass with the world's form. What does not pass away is love. The joy of sharing and of feeling that we are all one family does not pass away. In the evening of life, we will be judged by love. Stay safe and healthy out there. Till we meet again, and may God bless you all.